Ludicrous feed is proudly sponsored by Carloop, Australian EV Data and Ownership Trends, Koba Car Insurance, Pay-Per-Kilometer, Wallbox, EV Charging Solutions, and Evee, hire electric vehicles from real owners. Hey everyone, good afternoon. I am finally sitting in my brand new BYD Seal. It's registered, it's all good, and I'm very happy. We just went for a short drive around the block and it's so premium. I tell you what, I can't believe the price for this vehicle. We're going to go for a really long test drive now, all the way back home, and then we'll give you our thoughts. I've got Joy in the car with me, so she'll have her special comments as well.
Hello.
But first things first, let me just show you how to take off the driver assist function. At the moment, you've got to turn it off every single time. I've heard from other viewers that it's a bit annoying. Hopefully a software update will be coming soon to get rid of that. But I believe they had to do that to pass ANCAP safety ratings for now. Secondly, also I want to say that there was a delay in pickup yesterday because apparently the RMS, which is the New South Wales Registration Board or body, got hacked. So BYD were very kind. They sent someone to the RMS this morning, literally physically standing in line to register this car for me. So thank you so much. And they also threw in complimentary floor mats as well, which are normally worth $200. So thank you, BYD, and appreciate you looking after us as well. So there's the BYD floor mats. As you saw yesterday's video, I was scuffing the floor a lot, so I was actually considering buying these anyway, but thank you, BYD, for throwing them in. And also for the back as well. So there you go, BYD logo across the flat floor. Nice. So one thing I'll do every single drive until the software update comes through is to turn off driver assist, particularly lane keeping, because apparently that's quite annoying. So to do that, shortcut, you just slide down like that, go straight to DAW, and then I'll turn off lane support system, because apparently that is quite intrusive. So I'll turn that off every single time until the software update comes through. Alright everyone, welcome to our first drive, or my first drive of the BYD Seal. Joy is also mic'd up, so she's got special comments. She will be talking and giving us a passenger's perspective as well. Alright, so left shift down. I've got auto hold on as well, and right side indicate. And away we go. And I've also got Apple CarPlay wired to the USB-A port below the center console, and you can see Waze up on the screen there, nice and big. And by the way, this screen is huge, huge. We drove here in the Atto 3, so at least I've got that as a direct comparison. And I also drove the Model Y this morning to do a software update video, and so we've got comparison to that as well. And the screen is much bigger than the Atto 3 screen. It's great having Waze. I love Waze, great product. But now having this filling up the whole screen is so good. Okay, let's turn left here. I don't really hear the pedestrian warning noise. That I find quite annoying in the Atto 3, but in this car I haven't heard it yet. Maybe because it's a different tone, or I just can't hear it inside the cabin. Whatever it is, it's great. So far so good. And I think it's on sort of standard regen. I might have to play with that.
Very narrow.
Thank you. Good to have a co-pilot. So if I can't work out the regen, I'll just leave it for the time being. And just straight off the bat, as soon as I drove out the showroom, as you saw earlier, it just feels so good, like feels very premium. I just cannot believe it's still under 60 grand for this vehicle. That's insane, honestly. Not just the interior, like the finish, but the drive quality as well. I just can't believe it. Now, our good friend Riz, who I do live streams with regularly, when he saw this car on the BYD live stream, when he was invited to it, he called this car basically, or he basically called this a Mercedes. And we were all kind of giggling at the time. But Riz, if you're watching, I'm sure you are, I agree with you. I can't believe it. It feels like the other Mercs I've driven. I cannot believe it. I know the head engineer of BYD is now ex-Audi. And you can see why. Like, a lot of European design has gone into it. So, Mercedes, eat your heart out. This is what it feels like. Joy, thoughts on your first impression so far?
Yeah, I mean, definitely I've sat in a lot of Mercedes over the years, and yeah, this, I have to agree, yeah, it does actually feel very similar, yeah.
Well, let's see if I can switch to... Let's volume down here. Anyway, I won't play with it too much since I'm not familiar yet. Not a big deal. Now, this doesn't have one pedal driving. That's one criticism I've seen from other drivers. It's kind of a, I don't know, double-edged sword, because some people do actually feel quite car sick with too heavy regen braking. I've driven cars with very heavy regen braking. Even I don't like it as a driver. So I'm not too fussed it doesn't have one pedal driving, actually. It does take practice as well. And even though it doesn't have one pedal driving, even though you're using the physical brake to stop, the first part of that physical braking is still regen braking, by the way. And then only at the very end, when you actually come to a complete stop, then that's when the friction brakes kick in. So it's not losing that much in terms of wearing brake pads. And the brake pedals are built to last, so not fussed. So on the... Oh, I'm loving the screen, by the way, the middle screen here. So 99% state of charge, it's showing 644 kilometers. That's probably either NEDC or CLTC, which is the Chinese equivalent. 570 kilometers of WLTP range, which is the European kind of standard. That's what we normally use here in Australia to compare apples with apples. I've also changed the indicator sound. The default indicator sounds quite tacky. So it's back to like just the standard indicator noise, which is fine. And of course, we've got to do this trick, right? I was going to press this button to rotate the screen, but it looks like if you're in Apple CarPlay, it's not supported, which is fine. I think I'd rather have it in landscape mode anyway to see where I'm going. Okay, let's merge to the left. Again, double demerits today in New South Wales, so I won't be hooning it, not that I ever do, but I won't be speeding definitely today. And the suspension so far is pretty good. It's not as firm as the Tesla Model 3, even though we're driving on this kind of road. It's definitely more supple. Someone used that word on a comment of mine, on one of my videos. Supple, that's a good word for suspension. I wouldn't say it's like floaty at all. It's like, it's good. It's good for city driving. What is that beep? Something keeps beeping. I'll have to work that out. Is that one of those intrusive noises people keep talking about? Must be. So Waze, so good. Speed cameras, police radar, obstructions, roadkill. That's why I love Waze.
Does that work?
Can you report something? You can. Nice. Now, if anyone from BYD is watching, one thing I don't like about Waze for BYD, which is not a problem in other cars I've reviewed, is that you can't move the screen around. You have to do this, which is really cumbersome. I'm not going to do that at all every time. It's too dangerous. So if anyone's watching from BYD, please fix that. Please let me move the screen. That would make the experience much better. So acceleration, there's a slight lag, ever so slight, like only because I'm watching out for it. What are those noises? You know what it is? It's traffic. It's the speed sign recognition, which Yeah, that's annoying because every time you go through a new speed zone, like a school zone like that, which is not applicable today because it's not school day, every time you go over that, it'll beep. That's something I should try to turn off as well with the speed limit recognition. And unfortunately, you got to do that every time. See, I'm using this friction brake, well, my brake pedal for now. And even then there's a little bit of regen coming through. I'll just put my hands further down here so you can see. So volume control's up here, that's handy. Cruise settings are up here, which I may or may not use today because it's my first time. And then vehicle follow is these two buttons here, further away, closer together. Those who watch my other reviews will know that I'm always confused with the vehicle distance follow. So I like having these buttons here to tell me exactly what it is, further away or closer. And the 3D camera, 360 camera, pops up like that. Now this is a huge advantage over Tesla, having this 360 camera pop up like this. That I like. And then to go back to Waze, press that one, or that one. And back to Apple CarPlay. There. Okay, sweep around this guy. It's a great day to film. Bright blue sky. Pothole. Okay, indicate right here. Indicator noise isn't too bad. Too loud.
Just saw the Tesla driver at the lights looking at this car.
Was it a Model Y or Model 3?
Model 3.
Model 3, okay, so that...
White Model 3, yeah.
That's kind of pretty much the direct competitor to this car, Model 3. I mean, look, both cars have their shortfalls, both cars have their limitations, but both are great cars in their own right. So, you know, the aim of these videos is not to say one's better than the other. I'm just documenting my experience for you. Wonder whether you can turn off those annoying beeps and boops mid-flight. If I... Oh yeah, you can do shortcuts. So you go to DAW, turn this one off. This is the annoying one. Traffic sign recognition. That's frustrating. There we go. Okay. I'm sure there's a quicker way to get back to Apple CarPlay. I'll work it out. Again, this is my very first test drive, by the way, so I've not driven this car before.
I wonder whether you can use the voice activated thing to get back.
Okay, good point. No, that will test later. Half indicate? Yes, so how many beeps was that? I lost count. I'll try it again. I think I counted 3. Let's try again, so half. 3, just 3. Okay, I'm going to use the toll today, just to give you a bit of freeway experience. I've got my e-tag installed. Okay, cool. I'll adjust my mirrors mid-drive. Okay, that's better. That's good too. Nice. Nice. So, that's cruise on the speed I was going at. And then you can obviously raise up to 80. I don't know whether you can see the little steering wheel icon there. So that means it's on, well, I can't call it autopilot. It's like their intelligent cruise control, I think, with lane keeping. So it's like lane centering. Maybe lane centering is a better term for it. So I've lost 1% in range so far. This has got an 82 point something kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate battery. I still can't believe it's got a huge battery pack like that. And LFP, so it means I can charge to 100% regularly without concern about battery degradation. Insane. Even the Tesla Model Y and Model 3 long range and performance use NCM or NCA at the moment, which is not as good for battery degradation. Man, this is such a good ride. It looks good as well. And the interior is toned down compared to the Atto 3. Like, that takes some getting used to. It's a bit wacky inside, but this is just like traditional. Oh, the head-up display looks good. And I just saw that intensity turned down as well when I went through the tunnel. It was so responsive. And then back in the daylight, it's bright again. So good. You guys probably can't see the head-up display, but I definitely can. And it's not the older generation head-up display where there's like a glass shield. This is like a mirror projected onto the screen. Oh, head-up display, so good. So I've got information like speedometer, lane centering, and then the cruise control speed I'm going at currently, projected right there. Now I know this is only going to be a very brief test, but you'll get to see how good the lane centering is. And what kind of distance follow am I doing at the moment? Where is that showing me? Oh, there we go. Gap setting. I want to go closer, yeah. I want to follow as closely as possible in Sydney. Otherwise someone's going to cut me off.
Just admiring the interior now that we're in the tunnel. It's nice.
Yeah. You can change the RGB lighting to you can probably do that mid-flight as well. I don't really need the display because I'm pretty used to these roads. So what I can do for joy is touch the screen, or at least scroll down like that. And then what have we got? Vehicle controls. Interior lights, maybe. Try this one.
I think that would be the main light.
Oh, sorry. Yep. Better turn it off.
I'm doing that here.
Co-pilot.
Happy to work that out later.
Yeah.
See if you can say BYD go back to Apple CarPlay.
Hey BYD. Now it's not talking to me. Hi BYD. Oh, there we go. Back to Apple CarPlay. Oh, yes. Brilliant. Hi BYD. Open RGB lighting. No. Yeah, okay, that one's for working out later. That's good to know. Voice recognition for Apple CarPlay. So other things I'll be doing shortly when I get it is the Dashcam. So all the wiring and the software is already loaded for Dashcam capability, but the actual Dashcam, the DVR, is not there. So I've seen videos on the installation. Doesn't look too hard, so I'll be doing that to install it inside this console here, this housing behind the rearview mirror. It's got a front camera, but the camera's on the bumper, whereas the dash cam operates out of the windscreen one. Okay, so the auto night day mode is a little bit slow. It's at least 10 seconds now. It's still on that light mode. That could be the iPhone though, not the car. We'll see. Yeah, it might be the iPhone rather than the car's auto settings. Back on cruise. There we go. Back on cruise. So every time I push up, it goes up by 5 or down by 5. Yeah, can't go by 1, unfortunately, increments. I mean, that's fine. I don't think I'd be going up by 1 or 2 too much. You can set it at the speed you're going at currently, so that's one way around it. So, for example, you're going at 77, punch the cruise control, then it'll capture the exact speed limit. But if you're just manually shifting up and down, then it's just by 5s.
If you set it on 77, would it then go up in increments by 5, or does it go to the nearest, like 75, 80, that sort of?
Oh, that's a good point. Let's stop. Let's break it. If I go at, so 68 now, if I go up, it goes up to the nearest 5, so rounds up. New car smell. It's got that specific BYD smell. Well, no, this is what the Atto 3 kind of smelled like too, which is a good thing. I don't mind the smell of that. Not as strong though. Must be a certain type of treatment they do for the cars in the factory. So right indicate, which is good. A lot of, I guess Japanese, Asian cars are right indicate, whereas European more on the left side. I'm not sure if it's rain sensing wipers. It's got an auto function there, so maybe I'll just put on auto. Yeah, cool. That's good. I don't think the Atto had rain sensing. Oh, we're down to 60 behind the Model Y.
It's because 60 roadwork on that side. I don't know whether it applies here.
Yeah, a lot of people speed through this bit. It's a dangerous game to play on double demerit day. So, I won't be doing too many road trips in this car. This will primarily be like a town car for me, or a city car. We've already got a Tesla Model Y for our family car. I'll test out obviously some of the supercharger locations that allow non-Tesla cars to use them. But I might do maybe a shorter road trip or a day trip to test the capability and do some range tests, but I can't see myself driving too far with this. And so far so good, like with the lane centering function. Hasn't cut across any of the markings yet. Hasn't ping-ponged. It's pretty much kept in the middle. No phantom braking either. That's one benefit. It is a really smooth ride. Honestly. I'm not sure what that was. More booping. I know the Model 3 Highland upgraded its suspension, but this is pretty good already. Yes, it's very laggy with the... It's actually here as well, so it might be the car's functionality where it's not as responsive night-day auto function. So another bit of feedback there, just on my first drive. I'm just nitpicking, by the way. This is still a really good drive. Okay, we're going to cut out. Keeps the cruise control, and then when you're in the lane, then the lane centering function kicks back in. Okay, I might cancel cruise since we're coming up to a traffic light. So you can probably press the brake as well to cancel. I think with the speedometer too, the rep was showing me yesterday, Alex, and shout out to Alex too and Dave for looking after me today on a Saturday morning. But he was telling me that you can switch the Binnacle display here to like more classic with like a analogy looking speedometer, even though it's still digital, but make it look more old school, or this digital display here. You see, my foot's on the brake and it's still got regen. So one pedal's just for comfort or for convenience or whatever, for your preference, but even if you're using the brake pedal, you're still getting regen braking, okay? So your brake pads won't wear out either. Much better ride compared to Atto 3, right?
It's a different car, though. I mean, you can't really compare apples and oranges.
True. I'm just thinking the suspension is been improved, been tuned a bit better. They are different cars. Like, this is a sedan, obviously. If you want the boot space, then Atto 3 is the way to go. Let's see, I'm putting my foot on the brake. It's now down to minus 34. It's pretty good, pretty powerful regen braking. The noise insulation is incredible too. It's very quiet. Notice the air conditioning system's got that particulate filter as well. So it tells you like the particulate matter rating at the time. It's right there, yeah. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, 2.5. There's got to be a quick way to access aircon, but I might try the voice rec again. Hi BYD. Open air conditioning settings. Can't do that yet. Must be another way to say it.
Climate?
Hi BYD. Open climate settings. Open climate control.
I mean, it's here.
It's down there, isn't it?
Must be a different name for it. Now it says audio and music. No, that would be speakers.
Anyway, those things I'll play with when the car's stationary. Now the display here about the car, the graphic is not like accurate in terms of like where in part of the lane you are in, unlike other cars I've reviewed. So that's just like a stationary graphic.
Or the colour that looks silver rather than white?
I can't tell. All the sensors are working, ultrasonic sensors. Let's go on this lane. There's a nice hefty steering wheel. And real leather too, and as are the seats, real leather, which are ventilated and heated. So volume control. There we go, air conditioning settings. It's the AC. Free. Swing. Swing free. Smart air, yeah, that's what I want.
Smart air?
Well, smart air. It's better than dumb air. Apparently these flow will swing. I like the AC vents, they look nice. You can't control them physically, can you? It's a bit warm, 23. 21. You could, yeah, it's split, so you don't have to have what I have. Have an auto too. Everything auto. Ion.
Yeah, I know. I was just looking at that, trying to figure out what that means.
Sounds smart. Let's turn that off. Yeah, I was in. Let the air come in. It's a nice day. Oh, it just pulled me into lane. Don't like that.
As in towards the BMW.
Air purification. Is it good air?
Yeah, it says outside 10, inside 5, so...
What happens with quick purification? Like, really clean the air, is it? Before, maybe that's part of the smart air features. And I've been told too that the app will be ready for me in a week, I think. Same with the data. So that's one drawback. Whereas with Tesla, you get the app straight away. So it's got to wait a week for some reason. Not sure why. Hi BYD. Open Apple CarPlay. Oh, so responsive.
It also turned the fan down when you called it up, so it can hear you properly.
Clever. I think my this camera has died. That's okay. Well, that might end the video there, because that's pretty much it. You got a taste of freeway driving and also some urban driving too. So that's our first test drive of the BYD Seal Premium. Stay tuned, we've got more content. I'll try and do regular reviews, of course, just to give my impressions so far, and as I get more familiar with the vehicle, get my genuine thoughts on this car too. Thanks so much for watching. For enjoying myself, happy charging.